All right, everybody, welcome to another episode of the Up and In Show. I am here at Cards and Culture on the purple couch, but I am solo today. So if you guys are tuned in, first and foremost, thank you for listening. Go ahead and hit that subscribe and make sure you like this episode. Share it with your friends if you enjoy hearing me talk, or if you like any of the guests that I bring on. But Up and In Show, all about sports performance and business, interviewing athletes, entertainers, influencers, that kind of stuff. But I had a couple guests lined up for Monday and Tuesday this week, but with schedules and the way everything goes, it didn't work out and they had to cancel. So I am just solo here today on a Wednesday in the shop. And I'm just going to make this super quick because I like to stay consistent with things. I've been really enjoying staying on my podcast schedule and having a consistent posting routine and content routine. So we'll keep it pretty simple today. I'm going to go over some sports and entertainment stuff. I'm going to talk about a little bit of business stuff, and we'll talk about a little bit of education, motivation, inspiration, the things that I like to focus on when it comes to social media and content. So first and foremost, my LSU Tigers are getting ready to start their postseason. So it's been a great season for my LSU boys. Pretty much wire to wire, number one team in the beginning of the year and stayed number one pretty much the whole season. Had some bumps in the road at the end. Losing a series here and there, Auburn on the road, but they're super hot. They've won 9 games in a row. I'm not too worried about that one. Then they lost Mississippi State at home, but again, that's just baseball. Things like that happen. We talked about that on the podcast earlier in the year with my guy, David Fultz. LSU was going to lose games this year, and so they did at the end of the year, but then they bounced back against Georgia to finish out strong, and they're rolling into the SEC tournament. I think they're up 2-1 right now as we're speaking. What is it? Bases loaded. LSU's winning. Nice. All right. So we got some action. Hopefully LSU keeps the ball rolling. I like Thatcher Hurd. He's been a really nice, surprise. I don't want to say surprise because I think we had these expectations for him in the beginning of the year, but we were a little nervous about our bullpen, some of the arms that, the question marks after skiing. So I think the way that Hurd has been throwing lately has been a real, boost, shot in the arm for us. And he started off really well so far, 4 innings. 5 innings, something like that, and he's keeping us in the game. So that's all we can ask with our offense. And I think if LSU can develop, another starting pitcher and find a couple arms out of the bullpen, I think they're in great shape to make a run. Our offense is second to none, across the country. And as long as our pitchers keep us in the game, as long as we don't walk and hit guys, as long as we throw to contact and do our thing, I like our chances in a regional and super regional. And when we get to Omaha, hopefully I say that assumingly, but if LSU gets to Omaha, I like our chances there because I think those are the expectations. And I can even relate a little bit. In 2009, I was fortunate enough to win a national championship. We were preseason number 1. It was eerily similar to this year's team. And that's what it was. The hardest part was getting to Omaha. And once we got to Omaha, it was almost like a breath of fresh air and almost relief where we knew we belonged there and this was our tournament to win. And it was a few brackets, and then we took care of business. So I'm excited to see how the Tigers finish out this season. Hopefully this SEC tournament goes well for them, and they roll into a regional and hopefully host a super regional. That would be a lot of fun, and I know the fans would appreciate that. They always relish at an opportunity to pack out the box for some postseason baseball. So that'll be a lot of fun. MLB baseball has been super fun this year. If you guys are following me, any of my content, I talked about doing a lot of MLB stuff this year and focusing on the AL East. While I'm still doing that, I haven't made content as much in the last, month or so, and I'll get into why I think I've taken a little break from that content, but I've still been enjoying the MLB season probably more than I ever have. I think a lot of that has to do with some of the sports gambling and the picks that I've been doing. That's been a lot of fun, that I've been having some success with. But MLB has just been a really dream thing for me this year, where I get to follow some of my friends, work with some of these athletes that we're doing collectibles with. If you guys follow me on social media, I made a post out there where I'm trying to focus on a little bit on being the player's dealer, a little phrase that we're playing with here at Cards and Culture. But I'm working with some guys that care about collectibles, that do that stuff on the side, that have some hobbies in the sports memorabilia collectible space. So what we're doing is helping them build their collection from A to Z, whether that's buying them sports cards or getting them product that they're interested in. Eventually we would like to evolve into jersey swaps when guys and girls switch their jerseys out. We would love to, go get those framed and deliver them to their house for their man and woman caves, and their memorabilia houses. And eventually when athletes want to vault to their collection, we would handle the logistics of that too. So that's been a really cool project that I've been working with some Major League Baseball players on that kind of stuff. And that's been a lot of fun. So not only just following the MLB, but working with the players again and being involved in the game and in a business sense has been a lot of fun for me. And I'm excited to see what kind of content we deliver with that. A lot of the storytelling, a lot of the access. I know a lot of the kids that come into the shop really enjoy that kind of stuff. So hopefully we can make some cool content and deliver some cool assets there. But it's been really fun following the MLB season this year. The AL East is super stacked. So my Yankees are having a winning record, but not really looking great in the standings because everybody else is playing well. But it's been fun to follow DJ and some of the LSU guys that are in the AL East, like Kevin Gausman, who's, an ace and one of the main pitchers for the Blue Jays. And really just, following the LSU baseball players and the MLB season. Looking forward to the rest of the way for sure. And as I kind of alluded to, some of the business stuff that we're doing, not only the players, dealer stuff and the content and the media side of things that we've always been interested in here with Cards and Culture, but there have been some developments with the actual retail space. And if you guys are Baton Rouge locals or Louisiana locals, you know that I'm located in a place called Perkins Row, which is a high foot traffic area. We have a movie theater, a lot of really cool boutique shops, some eating areas. And the reason that I opened this shop was because of this space here. And there have been some developments and some opportunities where some spaces have opened up. And I've been exploring potentially expanding our space a little bit to create a little better experience for, some of the collectors and the people that come in here regularly. And I think, as most business owners, I was pretty overzealous when I started my business, and I thought I was going to have a lot more space in here. But as, things happen and business matures, things took precedent, and I have a lot more items in our shop than I ever anticipated. And so I don't have as much space to do events and birthday parties, autograph signings, meet and greets, networking, panel talks, things that I really enjoy and that I think help drive business. So there's some things that we're exploring and that I'm looking into. And if everything goes right, maybe we'll have an opportunity to expand our space in the next couple months or year. But again, that's all things that are on the back end of the business development side of things. I think things that we're focusing on are continuously evolving our experience for our collectors that are coming in the shop, having the best retail products, having the best people and personnel in place to make sure that we educate our people that are coming in, and making sure that they're the happiest and satisfied when they're leaving our shop. That's always first and foremost for us. So, we've made some new hires and expanded our team a little bit. I'm excited to see our online sales and some of our media stuff really take place. And I'm looking forward to football season and maybe bringing on another couple people as well to develop out our media side of things. But overall, Cards and Culture has been a lot of fun for me this year. The summer is always interesting to see how things go. When kids are out of school and everything, but the opportunities are there. The collectible space, I think, is always evolving and expanding. Ken Golden just came out with a great documentary on Netflix. So if you guys are interested in that, Ken is a legend in our industry. He's been in collectibles for 25 years, and he just came out with a really cool documentary where they followed him around for 6 episodes and documented what he does on a daily basis, which is going and finding the best collectibles from across the world, flying on private jets and making $1 million deals and bringing them back to auction houses to make sure that people can have the best memorabilia to bid on and ultimately add to their collection. So I think the collectibles industry is at this really, really unique turning point with the combination of interest and attention, but also, innovation and technology and people being able to utilize, phones and computers and AI and blockchain and all these different things to be able to create the ultimate fan experience and give people access to their favorite players and memorabilia and things like that. So I think the collectible space is on the up and up. I think the economy is always, a factor into that. People don't have as much discretional income to be buying these types of things, but I think the industry as a whole is pretty solid in the sense of the foundation that we have. I think, economic things, come and go. That's been the story of all our lives and history as well. So that's always going to happen. The market is always going to fluctuate, but I think the attention and the amount of people that are in the hobby, that are into collectibles, the news around it, the way that it's become mainstream and popular, I think we're at a really exciting time in the collectibles industry. And so Cards and Culture is going to continue to innovate in that space and develop technology in there and ultimately try to create the best experience for our people that have, come through the doors and supported us online and all of that. And ultimately, I kind of want to leave everybody with a little bit of a humanistic note. Not that I'm preaching or anything like that, but I just want to, share some of my experiences as a business owner, a former baseball player. I've taken a lot of risks financially and reputation wise and all those things. And this next opportunity is even another step into that. And I just want to remind people that, I know that people might see things on the phone or see me on social media or hear me on a podcast or a radio and think that I have all the answers or that I'm confident all the time. And even though that's probably a lot of my persona and the way I carry myself, I just want to remind everybody that I have insecurities and fears and doubts just like everybody else. And, at the times of crazy opportunities, sometimes those fears and insecurities come in even louder. So I've actually had to take a step back from social media and some of the content development, the things that I was doing to focus on some of that and understand, what thoughts were fears and what were actually, good for developing my business and taking risks, right? There's a healthy balance between risk and reward and those types of things. So the last couple of weeks have been a little bit of a battle for me in the sense of understanding if these risks are if this is the right time to take those risks, if this is something that I can take on right now. And I just want to remind people, because I think a lot of people come in here and I've had conversations with people and they seem to think that I have it figured out or, that I'm happy all the time or everything goes well for me all the time. But I just want to remind people that I'm human too and that I have my doubts and struggles and all of that. And I just want to remind people that you can push through those things, that fear is a good thing to have and insecurity is a good thing to have. And it's normal to be human, to have those things. But it's even more important to have a good team around you. So I think, the last 2 or 3 weeks, I've had so many meetings with my employees and the people that I surround myself with in the business, but also lunches and networking meetings to just understand about my vision, about my ideas, to see if they work and to have people, poke holes in them to tell me that it works or they can see the vision for it, so all those things are important. And I say to push through those fears, to understand those fears, to be okay with those fears and insecurities and understand that that's part of this human experience that we're here living, So some of the great things come through pushing through fears and insecurities and taking those risks. So I just want to remind people that, those things are always there for everybody. And there's always a light at the end of the tunnel, no matter what you're going through, whether you're unhappy, depressed, sad, anxious, or excited and happy all the time. There's always, a light at the end of the tunnel, and there's always things that you're working towards. So I hope everybody, hopefully can take that and do anything with that if it helps them at all. But my experiences lately have been dealing with a lot of ups and downs and thoughts of fears versus rewards and excitement and that kind of stuff. And ultimately, hopefully we can look back on this podcast episode and understand, the things that I was going through and who knows if these developments take place in the next couple weeks, months, years. It would be pretty cool to look back on this and understand exactly what I was going through and how we stepped through those as a team, as a company, and hopefully had success through it. So I just want to remind everybody that, you can do that stuff and push through those fears, anxieties, uncomfortableness, insecurities to be the person and the human that you ultimately want to be and serve the purpose that you're ultimately here to serve. So I hope everybody has a great day, a great week. And I appreciate all the listeners and everybody that has subscribed and followed me on this podcast and this journey for the last 3 or 4 years. And if you guys enjoy it, again, please share, subscribe. It goes a long way, and it makes all the work that I do putting into this worth it. I appreciate y'all. See y'all soon.